Hello, this is Dreams with Jam. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about Switch decor. So, full disclosure, I play on the PlayStation, so I have a 6,000 limit. However, Switch players are very limited by how many items that they can display in their valley. And that's basically just due to the refresh rate that the Switch is able to handle. As far as I understand it, it's not necessarily Gameloft or Disney Dreamlight Valley or anything like that. It has to do with the fact that they've not updated the actual hardware in the Switch for a very long time. So let's talk about what you can do in your valley to help with spreading out your items in a way and making your decor as pretty as possible with the constraints of the item limit. Okay, so here we have, we're going to be working in my meadow. I have currently, let's look and see what our item limit is. We are currently sitting at 884. Let's see if we can get that down, but still add and still have some sort of pretty design. Here we have a little area here, Minnie, Mickey, and Goofy Stall, and Wally's Garden. Those are all things that cannot be removed from the valley. You can move the houses to different biomes, or you can move them to different DLC. However, we're talking about keeping the valley as low as possible. So let's start with path. Path does not count against your item limit. So this is going to be one of your biggest and best tools to add decor and design into your valley. So we're going to create a little walkway into their section here, and we're going to create a little backyard area for Minnie and Mickey. And we're going to do that using the other item that does not count against you, and that's fencing. So let's create a little backyard. We're going to use the white picket fence. I like the white picket fence in the meadow and really in any biome. It adds a lot of bright color. Well, I mean, it's not color, it's white, but it adds such a light and bright atmosphere to the area, no matter where you're decorating. Okay, so let's take a look at that. So now you can see right away we've added, a real pop of nice bright white, and then this path walkway, it fills in that design between the houses. And we've not added a single item to that item limit. We're still at 884. So one of the other tips I'm going to give you is utilize things that naturally spawn, okay? So you can't control the fact that flowers keep spawning, but flowers do count against the item limit. So what I'm going to tell you to do is utilize those. Make those part of your design. I'm going to line this little fence here. Let's see if we've got some more here. We're going to line this fence with the naturally occurring flowers. Again, we're adding design, but we're not touching that item limit. Okay, so we're just going to keep filling that in. You can use any flowers from any biome. You can move them wherever you want, whatever color. If you wanted to do all yellows, go around and collect all your yellow flowers and move them. Whatever you want to do, however you want to use them. But we're going to use these naturally occurring flowers, and see, we're still sitting at 884, but now we've created this really pretty design along the fence line. We're just adding to this decor, but we're not adding to the item limit. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is bushes and trees. Again, you can't remove them from the valley, but they do count against the item limit. So what we're going to do is utilize these bushes and trees to create in the backyard just some more design. Let's see, grab another one, put on Mickey's side. We're going to even utilize the apple trees here. And I'm not grabbing trees from the inventory, because that will add to the item limit. I'm going to use these first and then see where I want to go from there. So we're just filling in this design, but not adding to that limit. So now you can see what this looks like with just some fencing, some path, naturally occurring flowers, and then the bushes and trees. And, putting the flowers up against a fence or, in a cluster to make it look like a little flower garden, not a bad idea when you're looking for flowers, for dried flowers in the mornings or whenever you walk around your valley and clean it up and look for those memories. Okay? So that's that tip. The next one we're going to talk about is a popular one, garden. So we all need crops. We all make food at, the restaurants. We all need crops here and there. And it's very popular to kind of create a garden look. And, I know some people really like to use these rocks, creating this like almost a cottagecore look. We're going to create a little rock garden here, path around the, or people use these around fountains too. That's another one. Okay, so you can see what it would look like here, creating a border around your garden. You can still see the grass, but it creates this just cute little vignette. So I'm going to show you can use fence. Okay, again, just you choose a fence that you like. It doesn't matter. Again, that's not adding to that item limit. Okay, so you can see we're at $8.92 because we did add in those rocks. Now, the thing with the fencing and the rocks is you cannot move around them, right? So if I'm harvesting these lettuce and they spawn and spray all over, I would have a hard time getting out of here quickly. I have to go to the end and then back out. So what I suggest, and this is a good way to add a nice border around your garden and create, some atmosphere and nice decor, is choose a path that you like that fits the biome that you're in. So I'm going to choose leaf strewn path with border, and I'm just going to create one row around this particular patch. Okay, and now you can see I've created a little nice border for this lettuce patch. And now if I wanted to create another one, we could have some, wheat or whatever it is I want to grow here in the meadow, but I can run over it. It's not impeding anything. Villagers can walk through here with no problems. And I didn't add to that item limit. Okay, so you can see we're at $8.84. Okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about is water. Okay, water has a lot of cool decorations to it now. We have glowing lily pads. We have these Tiana flowers, these lilies, cattails, reeds. We got the Mulan reeds with the white flowers popping off. And I'm sure we'll get more from even the storybook Veil. So what we're going to do is switch this out a little bit. Right now we're at $8.84. And this is a very small pond. I don't necessarily need all these reeds and cattails, so I'm going to delete these out. I'm going to delete these sections right here. And maybe just one flower, because this is pretty small. So we're just going to maybe move that to the center there. I like to decorate in groups of 3s, 5s, 7s, and 9s. Odd numbers are more pleasing to the eye. So we're going to look here. I've got 2, 3, 4, and then these rocks are kind of creating my 5th. Okay, so you see it's pretty cohesive design right now. But let's say I want to add more glow and I missed that flower I took out. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a choice here. And this is what you need to do as a Switch player. Make choices based on what do I want to display. Do I want it to look more natural and just green? Maybe I take this flower out and add another lily pad. But what I'm going to do is I want it to glow really pretty in the evening. I'm going to remove this plain lily pad and I'm going to choose the lily pad with the pink flowers on it that glow. And now I've added the pretty much the same dimensions. But now I'm down to an item limit of $8.81 because I've deleted just a few items. I'm still leaving a little bit of interest here. I've added this glow here. I'm leaving one flower here. And I still get that design element, but I've lowered my limit now. Okay, so let's look at this one. Same thing. I'm going to remove this lily pad. I'm going to replace it with the pink glowing one. Okay. And maybe I don't necessarily need maybe this cattail, and maybe I'm going to remove this reed here, and maybe I don't need all 4 flowers. Okay, so now I have, let's count the rock, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now I'm down to 878. I'm keep lowering that limit. But, I still have exactly what I wanted to portray here, which is the glow of the flowers for the evening and during the day, a little bit of greenery, some cattail to make it look like the pond that it is. Okay, let's look at this one over here. You know what? Let's go all in on the pink. I'm going to remove all of the yellow flowers. Now, the nice thing about the pink ones versus the yellow is that they come in clusters of 1, 2, and 5. So we're going to choose, you know what? Let's just add one of the double ones. We'll go all in on the pink. Turn it around here, make it a little different. We've got some green and cattails in each corner. Okay, so let's maybe remove this cattail. We don't necessarily need that. I like the green because it's around Donald's boat. So now we're at 875. We've just lowered it even more. Okay, so it's all about making choices. It's all about looking at it again after you've placed everything and maybe removing 1 or 2 items. Okay, it's like the famous designer said, I think it was Chanel, she said, after you've put on all of your clothes and jewelry and accessories, stand in the mirror and take 2 pieces off. It's the same with decor. When you're placing items down, stand back, go up above it, look at it, and say, do I need everything? And maybe remove 1 or 2 items. Is it still portraying what I want it to portray? Okay. Let's talk about rocks again. Okay. And bushes and foliage in general. Again, we can use bushes. Okay. We could line each corner with these bushes. But let me move these out of the way so you can see it a little bit better here. Let's say I want to create a little bit of interest here. And like I said, I like to decorate in 3s, 5s. Okay. So I'm going to use the ever famous butterfly flower that we all know and love. And then I'm going to add in a couple bushes here just to create a little interest and color in the corner. Just to add some design and flair. Now Wally's little area here looks a little bit more manicured and pretty. Now I'm at 878. Okay, how can I cut that down? Well, within your foliage, go down and under underbrush, trees, and rocks, there are sections that have multiple items, like this peaceful meadow greenery. Okay, so let's try and add that here. And I can get in pretty close. It does overlap things. Okay, so it's pretty much creating the exact same effect I just made, but now it's only adding 1 instead of 3. And technically, I'm getting 5 pieces. I'm getting this 2 rocks and 3 bushes for the price of 1. Okay, try to use those items on the switch. Those are going to create a lot of design in your valley, but for a smaller price. Okay. So we have that rock cluster there. I believe that's the only one under underbrush. Under trees, if you have the expansion pack, you do have these jungle clusters, okay? They don't necessarily work in the meadow, but we're just looking at them here for design purposes. These would work in the sunlit plateau, the forest, wherever you really want to kind of create this design. So these jungle clusters add a lot. If I place this down, you can see my item limit only went up by 1. But look at all of that area that it filled, and look how many items you're getting for that 1 item, okay? If you don't have the DLC, there's another one, the living bamboo wall. If you don't have the DLC, you do have the Forest of Valor tree trunk. Okay, it's a smaller item, but it does have a lot of interest to it. So here we see it has rock, fern, mushrooms, the log. You're getting a lot more than just placing down one bush. Okay, let's see, what else do we have? We have the tropical greenery, which does take on the grass or beach or frozen tundra, whatever you're placing it on, it takes on that color. So if you can see here, it's grass underneath it, but if I put it on the beach, it becomes sand. So this particular item is very versatile. You can place that, and it's got a lot of color to it. It's got those pops of oranges in there. It's great for like a fall build in the sunlit plateau, because then you can add in that particular color as well. Let's see, what else do we have in here? There's a couple others, I believe. Under rocks. Here we go. And here we have another rock cluster with a tree and a mushroom. So it kind of goes along with this one. It's not quite the same, a little bit smaller. Here we have a large one. Okay. So here we have this really big rock cluster. But again, if you're on the Switch, this is only taking one space. If I place it down, it's only going to take my item limit up by one. But look at all the pretty space that fills decor-wise. Okay, so utilize your items wisely. Look through, and instead of choosing maybe this rock and a bush, you can see the difference here. You're going to want to choose that instead of this, because you're going to take 2 to 3 item spaces instead of just the one. Okay, so that's a pretty important impact in your valley. Look at all this decor you could be getting by utilizing items more wisely. Okay, if you do not have the DLC, this is where I'm going to kind of advocate for it just a little bit, because you do get a big bang for your buck. Not only do you get all the items from the DLC, which does include those jungle items, etc., but you're going to get more space to decorate. Okay, so now you can maybe move half of your villagers onto one of the DLC places, whether that's Eternity Isle or Storybook Vale or whichever ones come in the future. You can now space out your houses. So maybe I move Goofy over to Eternity Isle, and by moving Goofy, that decreases my valley count by 1 and moves it to that area. And if you don't want to buy the DLC, it's totally understandable, totally your choice. I am not getting paid to advocate for that in any way, shape, or form. We will be getting the floating islands on December 4th of 24. We will be getting those floating islands, which they haven't really released at the time that I'm recording this video of what the item limit will be on those quite yet. But I do know that it will not count against your overall total. It will be a separate section, so it will allow you a lot more space to decorate. So you will be able to move villager houses and things around at that time too. Okay, so the last thing I want to cover is lighting. Instinctually with lighting, when I see other people's valleys, or I sometimes I'll do my own, I find myself doing things like this. Okay, so I find myself, I need to place lights wherever people come and go, right? So we're gonna, because when you look at like up somebody's porch, right, there's a light on either side of the door, or if you have a couch, there's generally lights on either end of the sofa, right? So we're going to go ahead and place our lights around each entry point, okay? Now, again, we're going to do that trick where we place it, and then we're going to stand back and start removing. Do I need all of these lights? Well, let's take a look. First thing we want to do, let's move, oh, hello, ladies. Okay. Let's move our time of day to evening or early morning. Okay, so now we have our pretty yellow lights in place. Now, I can see right away, this building glows very nicely. I really don't think I need these lights here. I'm going to take those off. This plaza has really good lighting. There's nothing really obscuring it. You know, we have a really good shot of the moon and sky. This is pretty open. Those buildings give off light. I don't think I need those. So then I'm going to look at, well, there's lights kind of on the entry point already, these little globe lights here. Do I need to double up on those lights? I don't think I do. I think what I'm going to do instead is maybe move one back by this tree corner and the other one to match on the other side. It's a little shadowy in that corner. Add a little bit of light there. I can do the same over here because we have those same lights. So let's move our lighting over maybe to here. And then back in this dark corner over here. Okay, so you can see I'm still getting quite a bit of light. And of course it's raining, which is fine. We all know and love the rain, right? Okay, so you can see my lighting is still very nice. There's really not a place in this particular courtyard area where I am not getting some sort of light source. But now I've cut the items down. Instead of using, 8? Now I'm down to 4. So again, I've decreased that item limit, but still getting the effect that I want, which is light. I am setting this particular plaza up for Christmas. So let's say I want to add these pretty little red rugs to all of my entryways here because I want that pop of red, right? Maybe I'll place a Christmas tree in the center. We're getting ready for Christmas. Let's maybe choose this festival rug here. And then let's place our Christmas tree. Okay. Oops, see if I can get it on the rug. Okay, there we go. Super pretty, right? You can see all those pops of red that I wanted, and then this tree in the center. But now I'm at 896. Let's try to get that down, okay? Here's a way we can do that. I'm going to delete all these little small rugs. This is a pretty big space. And then I'm going to take away, I can't really see the decoration on this rug to begin with, right? Because the trees, there's no point in using this round rug when I can't even see the design on it. Okay, so what we're going to do here, I'm going to choose this large red rug. I'm going to put it right smack dab in the center. And then put my tree in the center of that. And now I'm getting the same effect, but now I've eliminated 4 items, and now I only have 2. But look how pretty it is, right? I'm still getting that pop of red. And actually, I've added the gold now, so it's a benefit. And the tree is nicely displayed in the center, just as I wanted to begin with. So again, it's about using your items wisely, standing back, taking another look, and how can I decrease that limit, but still get the design that I want, okay? The last thing we're going to talk about here, and it's, I think, one of the most important, is storage. I know that there's a lot of tips and hint videos out there that talk about storage and how to utilize your storage. And one of the ways I think is very popular is to take a chest. We're going to take a medium chest, right? And we're going to plop it down right in the valley that I want it to be in. So then I can run around and let's say I'm collecting this vanilla and these cherries, and now I want to store them for later use. So I'm going to go to my Sunlit Plaza storage chest and I'm going to drop them off. Okay? So now they're stored there. However, by placing a chest, you have now increased your item limit. Okay? So I'm going to remove it and you'll see right away it goes down to 890 from 891. What I suggest is utilizing your house. And I'm not talking about the house skin, but the actual player house. Now, obviously, this house is not set up for anything right now. I'm in the process of actually redoing my storage. But I keep all my storage in my main house because in the DLC, it's the same house and the same build. So I can now access my storage from wherever I'm at all times. It's very handy. So I do suggest setting up some sort of storage system in your main player house. If you want, though, to continue to keep items in your valley, in each biome, what you can do is choose items that are storage based, but create some sort of design for you. That way you're not just placing one of these brown chests next to Goofy Stall, right? That doesn't really do anything. But you could utilize, for example, this cooler. So this cooler is equivalent of a large chest. I'm currently using it for food storage. You can utilize it for whatever you want. But if you create these, and you do that by crafting using marshmallows, the roasted marshmallow sticks and s'mores, those are what help create those items from the fall event of 24. You open that storage, and then this is now a decorative item that you can place down. Same here with the fish tank. You could place a fish tank out by Moana's boat and then put all the fish that you catch, or maybe you're storing all your lobsters or whatever you need to store. Or maybe it's in the frozen heights or frosted heights. My goodness. Maybe you're storing your salmon and your sturgeon there to feed your foxes. Okay. But pick an item that's going to add to your decor, not just some empty box that's taking up a space and doesn't really add anything to your valley. If you go under the storage tab in your furniture section, there are multiple items that can add to your decor, like this Lukey's shaved ice. This little bicycle is the equivalent of I believe a medium chest. I double check that. Yes, medium chest. So you can place that down. That creates a nice little item that you can use for storage. Daisy's wardrobe can be placed outside or inside. That is the equivalent of a large chest as well. Right here, this blooming one. And the nice thing about this is you don't have to craft it. Same with Lukey's shaved ice and the fish tanks. You can buy those from Scrooge so they don't take up any of your supplies. So if you are going to place things in your valley and take up that spot, make sure it's a design item. You don't necessarily want to use just this brown chest that doesn't really add anything. You could use this potion cupboard by Merlin. That keeps items as well. Oh, maybe this one doesn't go outside. Maybe it's the Ursula one that I'm thinking about. The Helm bookshelf. Nope. There it is. Poor Unfortunate Souls. This one does store items as well. I believe it's the equivalent of a small chest. Well, I can't open it because I have a fish tank. But look through your storage items at Scrooge and see which items that you could maybe utilize that add to your decor and allow you to store items for quick access. Okay. So I hope this helped. I hope you found some maybe advice or tips and hints for you Switch players that would help maybe, keep your item limit low, but add some design as well. If you think of something maybe that I haven't covered, please add it in the comment section so other players can see those as well. If you think of anything that you'd like me to talk about or add, or, some sort of design ideas that you'd like maybe some advice on, please let me know. I do read all my comments and would like to hear from all of you. And I appreciate you joining me today quite a bit. If you do like this video, please remember to like at the end. And even better, you could hit that subscribe button and get notified for more content. And thank you for watching. I really enjoyed, and keep on dreaming.